So a couple of weeks ago, I found out about a new game that was taking applications for closed beta, Rocket Arena. And I liked the look of the game, so I applied for the beta. And in the meantime, I found out as much information as I could, and I did a pre-launch review of what the game looked like and how it looked like it was going to play out. Then I was even more excited to find out that I'd been accepted for the closed beta. So I did a live recorded video of my first reactions and first impressions of starting the game, finding out what it was all about, having a few games and going from there. Closed beta's finished now, and I wanted to do another review. Have my opinions changed, or what have I found out about the game that's different? But rather than just give you my point of view and my opinions, I thought, well, let's do something different. So I reached out to the community that was on the Rocket Arena Discord server, and I asked for volunteers to do interviews. Here they are. Cuzzman, thank you for joining us on this interview.
My pleasure.
So, how long have you been gaming, mate?
Good 6 or 7 years now.
What were your first thoughts of the game when you started playing it?
I thought it was a little bit tacky, a rip-off of other games I've played. But then when I got more into it, I was like, this game's good. It's a standalone game. I didn't really see what the similarities I thought were there, but they weren't.
What's your favourite mode?
It has to be Knockout. It's just TDM really, like Team Deathmatch. That's what I'm used to.
What about your favourite characters?
J2, I just feel like it's because I'm accurate, so my shots are going to always pretty much hit. And Clink, if I'm having an off day, I know if I get my shots in the air, they're going to attract to the player.
Do you think this is a game you'll still play?
Oh no, definitely. Not as competitively as I thought I was going to.
Yep.
I thought I'd be playing every day, but I think it's a good game I'll be playing on the side.
How have you found the involvement from the Nexon and Final Strike team?
They're a lot more there, they're a lot more like online, if that makes sense. So they're always talking in the chats. So if you have a problem or what's that, like you can just tell them it straight away.
What sort of things would you like to see changed about the game, or do you think there's any improvements they could make?
I feel like adding a competitive mode to get all the tryhards out like into that, as well as having one character only in per game on each team is probably good as well.
Focus, thank you very much for joining me today.
I'm happy to be here, thanks for having me, Ricky.
So what sort of games do you normally play then?
Well, I was into Battle Royales for a long time, but not the regular ones, like not Fortnite or PUBG. I've tried them out, but I've never enjoyed them too much,
So how did you hear about Rocket Arena?
My former Spellbreak teammates and friends, they just told me, hey, there's a new game coming out. It's like Spellbreak but better. So my eyes started glowing, I googled up Rocket Arena, and I was like, oh yes, I gotta try this out. I applied, I think, a day before the closed beta went live. So, of course I didn't get the key back then, so I just asked in the general chat of the Discord, like, hey, does anyone have a spare key? And around 5 people came back to me in like a minute and said, hey, yeah, like take this one, and I'll be glad to see you in Rocket Arena. And I was like, okay, that's a very nice community, friendly one. So
on the subject of the community then, since we're sort of talking about that, how have you found the community? And especially not just the people that we're playing the games with, but also the developers and the community managers, their involvement with the community.
I'm not sure if I've ever seen that much involvement from the devs and the staff of the community in any other game Discord. This is truly fascinating to me. How much the developers care for their audience, for the people who are enjoying their game. Well, they care for us as for their children. They want us to enjoy the game at the most, and if we have any questions about how it all works, or what to do here, what to do there, how to fix this problem, how to fix that crash bug, they're always there to help, and I'm very thankful to them. My favorite mode is Knockout. Second favorite is Capture the Point, or whatever it's called. Mega Rockets. Yes.
Yeah, Mega Rocket.
And I couldn't say that I particularly like Rocket Ball, but I mean, it's playable, but it's not something I particularly enjoy. Knockout is so much more fun for me.
Have you tried the Rocket Bot attack yet?
Yeah, I have, and well, I think that it's pretty interesting mode, especially for newer people to train their skills and like the trajectory of their primary weapon and how to properly cast their skills. But in my opinion, it should be scaled to some extent. Like for example, when 2 people are playing against rocket bots, the rocket bots like damage should be tuned down a bit. Not even the numbers, because like when you get locked by a rocket bot, you can basically get killed by just being juggled around. So you couldn't have any control on what's going on.
So anything. So while we're on the subject now of sort of things that you'd recommend you'd like to see changed, is there anything else that you think that they could either do that would be? That smile tells me a lot. There's things on your mind. Go for it.
Exactly. Well, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this as well. I'm an Izel main, so I wish Izel's shift wasn't so overpowered.
Yeah.
The hitbox is huge. It's basically like if you're playing darts, you're not throwing a dart into the small like target thing. You're basically throwing a boulder and like, wow, no wonder that hit so. That actually hit the target. Wow, even though it's like 3 times as big as the target. So that's what Izel's charge reminds me of, and a lot of people hate Izel for it, even though like it's a great concept for a hero. I would love to have like a thing to select the game mode that you want to like play in a game, and maybe later on when the player base expands, you could actually pick the map that you want to play on. Like if that happened, I would have only played on the Star of Creator because I figured out so many good strategies with Izel on this map.
Okay, so I'm talking with Fuzzled. Fuzzled, thanks for joining us and taking part in the interview.
No problem.
So since you've been playing the game, how have you found it?
Pretty fun. It's quite unique, to be honest.
It is different, isn't it?
Yeah, very different.
Any particular game modes that you prefer?
I kind of like the capture the point.
The Mega Rocket one, yeah.
Yeah.
It seems to be everyone's favourite that I've spoke to so far. Yeah. Most people are pretty much saying that they like the Mega Rocket.
I really hate the Rocket Ball. Yeah, it reminds me of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. They had I think it was like something. I don't know what the game mode was called, but it's very basically the same as that. To be honest, you get the ball when you throw it into the goal.
What about anything that you think should be improved? Like anything that sort of jumps out on you that you think they could do better?
Like, because I play with a really high DPI, and I'm currently using 1 as the sensitivity.
Okay.
But it's still too high.
Right.
I go slightly across my mouse mat and I 360 in.
Would you recommend this game as a game for anyone, or would you say it's more to a certain demographic?
No, it's a game for everyone. It's got a bit of everything for everyone. To be honest, like if you want to play, if you're really into FPS games, you just choose characters like Kaya. I think her projectile speed's faster than everyone else's. And if anyone that have fun, blast speed's a lot of fun, even if you can't aim. So I think anyone can really play it, and if they had a competitive aspect, people who want to play competitively can play there, and everyone can enjoy it.
Would you say that you felt that there's been a good community involvement from the team at Nexon on Final Strike?
Personally, I haven't really looked into it, to be honest, but the community, the players are actually quite nice to talk to.
Yeah.
And they're actually helping, which is really good because it's a closed beta. People are saying things that are wrong with the game instead of keeping it to themselves. Okay,
so I have now with me Tandros. Tandros, thank you very much for joining me. So how did you hear about Rocket Arena?
Actually, a friend of mine, Suijin, he just came to the Discord the day that the beta release,
yeah,
and told me there was this game that kind of looked like TF2 or Quake-ish kind of mechanics and such. And he just he had 2 keys and he gave me one, and brilliant. So we, since the first day the beta release, we started playing together. What
was your first impressions of the actual gameplay compared to these other games?
Colorful game. It was a fun game. Gameplay wise, it was actually interesting, based on the different characters with different projectiles. Straight on, I knew this game had potential. It has potential right now.
Do you think it's something that you will definitely go back to once the game's actually released?
I feel like I can go back. I'm really interested in the game, but there are some aspects of the game that as a competitive player, because I like competitive games, which there are lacking nowadays. A good competitive game, FPS, most of, and there are some things that need to be addressed in this game for it to really go forward, really make me go back again and again and to play this game really as my main game.
So with you saying that, because that is one of my other questions, what sort of improvements would you like to see?
The first of them, the highest priorities, is the gravity and the horizontal velocity of this game.
Yes.
The horizontal speeds. By making the gravity higher and introduce more horizontal velocity or speed by adding wall rocket jumps.
Yep.
That actually propels you horizontally, because at the moment when you rocket jump on a wall, depending on the angle of the projectile you launch, you will either go up or down. You don't really go horizontally. The skill cap of the game would increase by that. You think more what the enemy wants to do. You think, oh, he can go these X directions. They could go either up, down, or horizontally. And they really need to think about it when you add this.
What would you say the involvement of the Nexon team, the Final Strike team, and Win-Win, who's the community manager, how would you say you found their involvement, getting involved with the community discussions and stuff that you've seen?
Actually, I thought it was good, because by making a Discord, it's a lot easier to the community to really speak out and say to the devs what they liked, what they didn't like about the game. It makes it easier. It makes and from a psychological perspective, it makes the people feel more in touch with the devs and not like some entity, distant entity we can't really begin to think of. Well,
I think that will wrap that up. So thank you very much, Tandros. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you. Thanks very much. What were your first thoughts on the game before you obviously applied?
I thought it was like a cool idea. I played a bit of Quake Champions myself, and it was like, well, I mean, it could be cool because Quake Champions had a lot of netcode problems and stuff, and maybe this game could have been a fresh start and being like a new experience, cool rocket jumps all around, having fast-paced games stuff.
It's quite interesting you say that, actually, because there's quite a lot of people that have actually compared this game to Quake and Super Smash Brothers as well. What would you like to see them make some changes in the game? Is there anything like in particular that you've seen that you thought that could be changed or maybe made a little better?
Yeah, so first of all, like remove stacking of champions.
Yes.
It can be annoying to fight 2 Plinks or 2 Azels. Also, I would like for them to increase the gravity a bit, because now it's kind of like very easy to juggle people. Also, sometimes I experience the fact that I use, for example, the shift ability, don't remember, with Amphora. And when it come out the water thing there, I just keep floating upwards and like die because the gravity is too low and it can't pull me down in time. Also, maybe for them to adjust rocket jumps a bit, because now they're a bit inconsistent. They usually tend to push you upwards even though you shot them like sideways, and they should give you a sideways boost. Again, comparing it to Quake, it doesn't feel right at all. Like in Quake, it's super smooth. It's very intuitive. When you shoot like to your right, you go to the left, you don't go upwards in awkward ways. Also in this game, it's not very consistent. Sometimes you shoot below you and you go like 2 meters high, and sometimes you go 20 meters high.
Do you think you'll still play the game once it's released?
Certainly. I mean, I won't play it a lot, like super much, like multiple hours a day, but I'll play it.
Yeah, sort of thing that something different. I just fancy that. I'm going to jump on there and have a blast.
Yeah, since the matches are so short, you can like play 10 matches and it's less than an hour usually. If they're gonna add like ranked mode or competitive thing, they feel like they should do like in Quake Champions right now, where there is multiple rounds with like kind of mini matches.
Okay,
so
yeah.
And like best of 3 or the best of 2, I don't know, but something like that.
So there you have it, the players have spoken. Obviously this is beta, and there's going to be a few little things that people have suggested that could have been done better, and I do agree with a lot of the things that have been said. For myself, I just thoroughly enjoyed the whole experience from start to finish. The big key things for me were, it's a very simple game, it's very easy to get into. The community, and for me the biggest thing was the community that we've met. The group of players that we've met are absolutely fantastic. Everyone was so helpful to each other, and it's so nice to see that in a community. But also the developers, the people from Final Strike, the people from Nexon, the community manager for the Discord server, Win-Win, absolutely all of them were second to none. I've got nothing negative to say about them. They listened to what we had to say. They were very much involved in the discussions and wanting to listen to what we have to say. My prediction, I think this game is going to go really well. I think it's definitely a game that everyone should have on their computer or their console, not just as their primary game, and I don't expect it will be a primary, that is my go-to game. For some people it will. For myself, no. But it is definitely something that's going to stay on my computer, and definitely something that I will be playing regularly. Primarily because the nature of it, where it's such quick rounds, it's that perfect filler. So I've got my games that I like to play, but I will still be playing this in more depth because I want to do some more videos on this as well. In regards to this video, what did you think of doing the interviews as opposed to just me giving you my review? Let me know what you think in the comments down below, really appreciate it. Would you like me to do more of these also for the different games that I cover? So let me know what you think, and if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of future videos, and watch this space for Rocket Arena when it comes out, and I'm really looking forward to it. Thanks very much, bye bye.